Yeah.
And that's weird that the orchard fruit has changed just slightly over
Yes.
the time.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's really interesting.
And that's really important that you pick that up, because that is Tamdhu. That is, that's what we want. We don't just want cask. We want to see that fruit. It's very fruity spirit. We do it Tamdhu, very fruity. So we use a yeast that particularly promotes a fruity style. We create a clear wort after our mashing. That's really important. That pushes you down that style. Whereas if you wanted to produce a heavily peated whiskey, you would have what we would call a cloudy wort. That's retaining more of that phenols all the way through the
Yeah.
process. So we want to see that. We want to see that character shining through. We just don't want to taste cask, and that's really, really important. Then the other thing you notice, and you'll know this as a bourbon fan, me too. You drink a bourbon, you get that taste right on the front of your lips. It's
Yeah.
all here because of the corn spirit, that American oak. Sweetness is at the front generally, and this is right at the back.
Yeah.
This is
Mid to
right at
back
the there's
palate.
not there's it's not activating on the front of the tongue. It's activating at the back of the tongue. It's like the difference between sort of milk and dark chocolate.
Yeah.
Milk chocolate's at the front, dark chocolate's at the back. There's a little bit of that, and that's European oak will drive you to the back because it's just that's one of the differences I pick up.
That's a really good way to talk about it. I think we don't. I feel like sometimes we should have like a diagram of the tongue always and be like
Yeah,
front palate, mid palate, back palate, finish.
yeah, salt at the side. Yeah,
Exactly. Like
yeah.
this has a little bit of salinity to it. So I'm glad you said salt,
Mm-hmm.
because like I do get a little salinity. My saliva glands are a little bit more
It's probably a
like
little bit of
working harder.
tannin. It's probably
Yeah.
the tannin just in a different form. That's what a lot of people say to me. I get a scent of, and there is obviously not salt in it. We know that,
Yeah.
and it's nowhere near the sea. But it's probably just the tannins coming through. But
Mm-hmm.
it's a fabulous whiskey. If you like a cigar, great whiskey. We do one called Cigar Malt, which is a sort of very limited release, which is 100% first fill sherry.
Yeah.
But this is a great whiskey. It's never going to be in every whiskey shop. You're going to need to find it a little bit, but you will find it if you want to.
Well, and I think that's the fun of Scotch, right? Is all the limited stuff is not always going to be available everywhere. But if you go into a really nice shop that has really good whiskey, you're probably going to find Tamdhu along
Mm-hmm.
with the rest of them. But I have to agree with you that 15 is a representation.
Yeah.
Is just it's what I think of fully matured
Mm.
Scotch. Like it's
Yeah.
full of flavor, depth of flavor, changed over time. Now, is the 18 a brilliant whiskey? Of course it is. Is the
Yeah.
12 a brilliant whiskey? Yes. But like that 15, after going through it,
I agree.
I'm with
So,
you 100%
so,
agreement.
so for me, I try and describe it this way. The 15 has width. It's got
Yeah.
width of flavor. It's got a different, and it's all sort of front and mid palate. There's a bit of richness coming in the back. What the 18 is driving you down a little bit more of a sort of tunnel of taste that drives straight, and it's not, and they're both great. They are
Yeah.
both great. And if you are not sitting at 10:30, or sitting in the morning, and you were sitting late at night in a leather wingback chair, having had a lovely dinner, maybe a cigar if you do that type of thing, and a pile of 80% Lindt dark chocolate, the the Tamdhu 18 is the whiskey you're going to want.
Oh, 100%. You get
But 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 the 15 has. If somebody says to me, "I've never had Tamdhu before, which one should I have?" I would actually pour them the 15.
yeah. And it's really great. Now, we're not going to taste through any more whiskey, but as far as the range goes, do you have
Yeah.
anything above the 18? Do you get into the 21 or 25-year-old
Well,
category as well?
we don't have any whiskey at that level. We have some older whiskey, which you may hear about in the coming weeks and years and whatever, which is significantly older. But of our general stock, we are at about 20 and a, we're about 20 and a half years old at the moment.
Okay.
So next year, there may be a 21.